Boy, people are really pissed off that Joe Rogan beat COVID. People are really pissed off that he gets 11 million downloads per episode. That's all this is. And this guy's pissed off because he's obese and he's super unhealthy. And Joe Rogan called him out. You're not a health nut because you got the fucking jab. Okay? You're still an unhealthy piece of shit who's probably going to die way before you should of preventable disease. Joe Rogan said this. Here we go.
In our lives where we're supposed to trust the pharmaceutical companies. All of our lives. It's like the pharmaceutical companies are a bunch of money-hungry monsters who don't give a fuck about you, and they're just concerned about making profits. Now
it's a fact.
Like, that was
and they've been in trouble with the law for decades.
That was then.
Yeah.
That was not during the pandemic.
Now we're supposed to not ask any questions and be involved with it.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to promote healthy lifestyles as an alternative to this. And you're not even supposed to consider the fact that for most people that are fat and unhealthy, listen, man, you are fucked no matter what. You're fucked no matter what. Because even if you don't get COVID, you're going to have a heart attack. Okay? Yeah. You're not going to make it anyway. Like, I don't know what you're saying about, like we're in danger and you're not. Like, bitch, please. Yeah. Bitch, please. You can't, exonerate yourself from decades of being a slob and being a person who has no consideration about their health and about their obesity and about the kind of food they put in their body and their lack of vitamins and exercise. And all of a sudden, you're health righteous? Fuck you. Fuck you. That's been my whole life. That's my whole life is about being healthy. I've been healthy forever. I haven't been sick in 11 fucking years. I got sick one time and it was with COVID. And it was only for a couple of days. And you're telling me that you're the one who's doing the right thing and the smart thing, and you're the one who's healthy? Get the fuck out of here. That's straight nonsense. And you got to confront those people on it. Yeah. Because they run around all self-righteous. Like, I got the shot. You're going to be in trouble if you get the COVID. Like, bitch, you're going to get COVID even after you get the shot.
And they are.
They're getting it like crazy. Funny, like my friend who got boosted, fucking boosted, double vaccinated, boosted 2 months ago, COVID.
And crazy sick from COVID. Not only got it, but like crazy sick.
Yeah, not good. Feels like shit.
And here's a guy who's a podcast host. Now, I wasn't aware of this. It's called H3H3 Productions. Yeah. Now, Kurt, you used to watch this show or listen to it or whatever it is? It's a podcast.
I watch it a little bit, but basically it was like a commentary channel that grew, and then they got kind of big, and now the guy is full Howard Stern, kind of obnoxious, and from what I know about him, in his own words, it's not a thing I'll make up, but he gets like depressive, and according to him, criticism makes him shut down psychologically.
Oh, so he goes on this long Twitter thread. He says, dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy and misinformation. First of all, let me just say this. Let me go back to this. Joe Rogan lives on elk meat, egg yolk, and first of all, Ethan Klein lives on cake batter. I don't know if you know that. And elk meat and egg yolks are super fucking healthy for you. I don't know if you know that either.
He lives on a very nutritious lean meat that he hunted himself.
And he said this MF for such a. I'm sure Joe Rogan never told anybody just write out COVID. I'm sure he never said anything like that. He did say comorbidities such as being obese make you more vulnerable to COVID, which I'm guessing you took personally as a person of obesity, or should we call you a POO? A person of obesity. So he goes on this long rant. Dude has caused so much vaccine hesitancy and misinformation, and he doesn't even have the balls to stand by the shit he preaches. No, he did. He beat COVID. He did it. He did it. And he's talking about how fat people should just die of COVID. No, fat people are just dying of COVID. That's what they do. He's not making you do that. You know that. That's you doing that, right? You're being obese and then getting COVID. That's going to make you die. Not Joe Rogan saying it. Okay. Isn't that funny? He's such a fucking piece of shit. Now, that's a guy projecting because he knows he's an obese, out of shape, 35-year-old guy, and he's actually the piece of shit. He knows that, and that's why he says that. It's like when Jake Uger says, I take right-wing money. even though all the money I take is from YouTube. He takes the right-wing money. He takes Jeffrey Katzenberg, Buddy Roemer, anybody he can get his hands on. So that's what that is. Instead of getting vaccinated, he takes Regeneron. An experimental drug that was developed alongside the mRNA vaccines. His logic makes no sense. And then credits ivermectin, which does fucking nothing for COVID. I recommend he go to the NIH and look that up. I bet he would find that interesting reading.
Joe Rogan got better in like 2 days.
2 days. 2 days. Not to mention whatever the fuck is in his alpha brain. Meanwhile, Joe is on a big pharma conspiracy against vaccines. Someone needs to ask him who makes ivermectin and Regeneron and all the other shit he took when he had COVID. So he's saying, see, you don't like big pharma? They make the other drugs too. You're supposed to like big pharma. This is his argument.
I mean, does big pharma have blanket immunity for all the drugs? Or
no,
just
they
the
don't.
One
just
drug?
the vaccine. So what these tweets are saying, Kurt, as you can see, is what they're actually saying is Ethan is very sensitive about his weight.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
He's so outraged by misinformation that he immediately tweets out misinformation about Joe Rogan. By the way, you want to see what this guy looks like? That's this guy. There he is, and there's Joe Rogan. The irony of Ethan Klein trying to tell the world how unhealthy Joe Rogan eats. He eats elk meat and eggs. There he is again. Elk meat and eggs. I think he should challenge Joe Rogan to a fight like Cenk did, right? I mean, based on that photo. By the way, the vaccine does offer protection against COVID, especially if you suffer from comorbidities such as an autoimmune disorder or an Ethan Klein chin. If you have, that's also
that's one of the comorbidities.
That's one of the comorbidities. He could lick it, isn't it? Well, how you get so fat, you could put your drinks on your stomach and you don't have to use your arms. Because if you use your arms, that would burn calories and you might lose weight, and you don't want to do that. Right, we gotta see a picture of him. Here's a nicer picture of him. That's really a picture.
It's pretty bold to call somebody a bitch when you.
Yes, I know.
That is a nice look.
It is a nice look. Come on. By the way, he posted this he took this picture himself, and then he posted for the public for some. I'm guessing this was a cry for help. Why else would you do that? I guess that's a cry for help. Hey, Joe Rogan, if you're so healthy, how come you don't have 8 chins? There's another one. There he is. How do you post something like that and then mock Joe Rogan? Hey, Joe Rogan, if you're so healthy, how come you never drink salad dressing? You want to see him drinking salad dressing? Here he is.
Oh, yes. This ranch is so freaking creamy, you guys. Oh.
This guy makes fun of Joe Rogan for eating elk meat and eggs. This guy.
Oh.
He does suffer from depression. I do know that about.
And he is a slob.
Surprisingly,
so he
does suffer.
Surprisingly,
from depression.
He is a slob, and boy, is he sensitive about his weight. And it turns out getting a vaccine while you're obese doesn't make you a health nut. And it doesn't make anything you say make sense either. Isn't that interesting?